Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back once again. It's me, it's Kris, it's Alyce, and we are here again for the Todd-Cast.
Yay!
Yay! And this might be the last one for this year.
Probably.
Yeah, I would say so.
This is the last one, I think, for this year.
Mm-hmm.
This one is it's not really that different. We're going to be talking about us growing up in Colorado.
Yeah.
Again.
Whoa.
It's thematic for when we're recording it, so that makes some sense.
Yeah.
Again.
Merry Christmas, everybody!
Yay! It's Christmas.
Yay.
It's Christmas and yay!
Holidays in Colorado.
Yay!
Don't be fooled. It doesn't always have to be a white Christmas.
In fact, it's rarely
Don't
a
be
white
fooled.
Christmas here.
It's not usually a
I
white
was saying,
Christmas
it's
here.
not.
Yeah.
Well, down in Denver, it will be in the mountains.
Well, for sure.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
But not here.
Yeah.
You get white spring breaks.
Except for 82.
Well,
yeah.
okay.
Christmas of 82 was definitely snow.
Well, see, now that's something, though, is a lot of people fly into Colorado, fly into Denver, and expect to see the type of snow that you guys will see in the mountains and are wondering, well, why isn't it? It's because we're on the plains.
Yeah.
High desert.
Yeah.
High desert. So, yeah. Anyway,
It's a good year to get a bike. It's a good year to get a bike. For the forecast that's out there.
Which means that we'll all get sleds this year.
Everybody gets
all
sleds.
snow equipment, and you're gonna be
And we'll all be sad because we can't use it.
Welcome to being a Colorado kid for Christmas.
That's right.
Everybody gets corduroy pants, socks, and desk sets.
And a bike when it's snowing, or sleds
A
when
sled
it's
it's
not.
not.
Even a bike if you're lucky. Okay, I mean, there it is.
How it works.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about what we would do in Colorado. We're going to start with how we kind of grew up here and doing things in Colorado. And we're going to do the same sort of format like we did last time. We're going to start with Kris and then go to Alyce. And then I'm going to talk. And then we're going to go through all that again. And, of course, I have to make sure I appease the manager.
Yes.
Because she's all confused about what's going on and why. And yeah,
we've been disturbing her all day as we're getting the house ready for Christmas.
We have
There's new things up, and
the house smells amazing.
One of the things I have done for Christmas for years, since kind of taking it over from my mom, is making Christmas cookies. And not only that, but I make Christmas cookies and make tins for everybody who drops by. And so everybody gets cookies. And I make way more than I absolutely need to, even though every year I swear I'm going to cut back. I end up with so many.
Are you still doing where you get a new recipe every year, or have you cut back on that one?
I'm not doing that this year. I haven't ruled it out, but this year I'm sticking with some old favorites. One I haven't made for a while, though. I kind of brought up.
It's not that sad.
No, it's not.
But it is.
But
I mean,
there are a few I miss. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, what do you miss?
What do I miss? Well, you are doing the shapes, right? And the diamonds?
Yeah. Not doing the diamonds.
oh,
My point.
come on now.
My point.
All right.
You
I'll do
married
the
into
diamonds.
this family for a reason, and those were the diamond cookies. Am I wrong?
No, you're
Thank
not.
you.
So the diamond cookies they're talking about are a recipe I got from my grandmother
So good.
that are essentially a lemon-flavored shortbread, which are cut into the shapes of diamonds.
Not uber lemony, because I don't like lemony things, but I love these cookies.
Yeah, enough to just give it a little hint.
Oh, they're so good.
But then it's topped with a meringue full of crushed
Oh,
almonds.
so good.
And they're kind of a pain to make because you have the shaped cookie thing, and because it's a shortbread more than it is a sugar cookie, it's hard to roll and
they're
cut.
so good though.
And then of course you have to make the meringue, and there's a little pinch of cinnamon in the meringue. Yes.
It's marvelous.
They're
Absolutely
labor
marvelous.
intensive. I
And
do get it. They are labor intensive.
They are
They-
labor
So-
intensive.
very labor intensive, but they're worth every bite.
Yeah.
I am okay.
Yeah.
I'm missing a foot now.
For the diamond cookies.
Yeah, for the
They were the
diamond
reason.
cookies. Because diabetic and I shouldn't be
It
eating
was those
them.
diamond cookies that did it, Chuck. Oh.
Well, with you, it was probably a toss-up between the diamond cookies and the white chocolate-covered pretzels.
Every time. I love the white chocolate
Nope.
pretzels.
Nope.
Because
You get my share.
He would eat a
Yeah.
whole tin all by himself.
because you got the salty pretzel and the sweet white chocolate, and it's
I'm not a doubter of the salty, chocolatey, sweet combo. I mean, I'm a French fry.
I'm the guy that would
frosty kid. So.
I'm the guy that would eat the peanut clusters. You know.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
I know. We'll get
chocolate
into that
peanut
into our
clusters.
like tradition of
Well,
how we grew up with
'cause-
Christmas.
then we have to go back up to Central City and get them peanut clusters that they don't sell there anymore.
So,
But yeah, my grandmother on my mother's side would start making Christmas cookies in October with specifically with the Lebkuchen, because it is a traditional German recipe that has to contemplate for a while. And so you make the dough, and then it's got to sit for, I don't know, a few weeks, couple weeks, and then you can make the cookies from it. But the recipe is spot on because
So it's got to ferment.
yeah, essentially. Because I've never made the recipe, but all of my cousins did a cookie thing. They all made it and sent me some. And I sliced it. It comes in like a big roll, and so you can slice it up just like the stuff you buy at the grocery store. And I made some, and I took it to my boss, who was from Munich. And she said, "Oh, it tastes just like Mama used to make."
there
And
you
I
go.
was like, "Yay!" So it is kind of a fruitcake-ish cookie, and so not everybody. It is definitely an acquired taste. It is a grown-up taste.
I don't eat them.
So I've never made it myself, but I thoroughly enjoyed it when my cousins made some and shared with me. And she would make divinity and the diamonds.
Mhm.
My mom would make the shape cookies because she's was an artist and decorated them beautifully.
Yeah.
I do my best. There's about 3 of the cookies I will decorate like she did. They're not nearly as good, but at least it's the same style. And then everything else, it's like, they
They get eaten anyway.
they get eaten. and my dad insists on having naked sugar cookies or naked Christmas cookies. So I have a big stack of them for him that are not
It's
decorated.
not just your dad.
I know you like them that way too.
Yeah, because
You've
I
never
think,
been a frosting fan.
no. I think that honestly, there's a lot of time wasted on frosting
Well,
and a lot of calories wasted on frosting.
Yeah. Well, and the other traditional one Mom did is, they're called wasp nests, and it's another meringue.
Mm-hmm.
But this time it's a chocolate meringue with toasted almonds, and the toasting. I made a good batch this year. That's what I did today. Is you've got to get them dark toasted to the point where they're almost burned. But
Which
it's
is why the
so-
house smells
Yeah.
amazing right now.
It's really tricky because, you take it off the burner and it's still going. And so you got to keep stirring. So you got to take them off before they're quite ready and
they
then
still cook.
keep letting
Yeah.
them cook. And if you made the mistake and got them a little too dark, then you quickly put them on a cookie sheet and take them outside and hope it's cold outside. Or stick them in the
Throw them
freezer.
in a snowbank.
Yeah, I've done that before. I've thrown them in the snowbank.
I know. I've watched you do it.
And yeah, so but you can't leave them out too long because it's nuts and squirrels and yeah. So you got to be careful in raccoons.
I was gonna say, and here, right
Urban
here,
wildlife.
we're gonna put a picture of one of the crazy rabid squirrels or raccoons right here.
Yes. I'm coming to feast on the nuts that the lady puts out in the backyard to cool off.
That's the squirrels. That's all the squirrels. That's what they're doing. Yeah.
Yay! And then what other cookies do I make?
You make the gingerbread cookies.
Yes,
That's a
Gingerbread,
new one.
yes.
that's a new one.
That's a new one. They're like spice cookies, but they're very
Yeah,
gingerbread.
these little
You
disky, ginger snappy kind of things.
You make it like a Linzer. The Jello
Yes,
Jello jam cookies.
those were
Cookie
last night.
pies.
Look, starts with the letter J.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Cookie pies.
I don't like them, but
Because fruit.
Well, and again, these
too
are
sweet.
a
know.
pure shortbread, like the 3-ingredient shortbread of butter, sugar,
Correct shortbread.
and flour, and that's it.
Yep.
And you're like, where's the rice? There's no
Doesn't
baking
rise.
soda, no baking powder, no egg, nothing like that. It's pure shortbread.
Because we not need none of that.
And, yeah.
We need none of that.
and just a hint of almond flavoring that goes in it, and then you fill
Just
it
show it the jar.
pretty much, and then you fill it with raspberry jam, and so it's an almond raspberry shortbread that Kat insists on having every year. That's her favorite, along with the wasp nests.
And when I was little, we had cookie pies, and it was a industrially made type of cookie, the same type of thing with the jam in the center of it. And I called them cookie pies. I don't remember exactly what they were actually called.
I don't either.
Yeah, but I love them.
Yeah.
And then when the year that Kris made them, I was almost in tears with nostalgia because of these cookie pies.
Yeah.
And I had a great time with the cookie pies.
They're very good, but the key to them, which I finally learned over years, is to use high quality butter, because that's essentially all you're tasting.
Yeah.
And so you have to make sure that the butter is good.
Cue
So-
Julia Child.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Do
all
that
about
again.
the butter.
Yeah. There we go.
And so yes. Yep. So that's been our tradition. So Mom, of course, made all of these cookies and some other ones that are lost in time. Oh yeah, the wreaths that are like Rice Krispie treats, but you make them with cornflakes instead of
those in a while.
no. That's what my dad broke his tooth on, because you decorate them with the
red
cinnamon candies. Yeah, and they're really hard, and if you don't know that that's what they are, you can break a tooth. And also because in years past I'd used frosting because I couldn't find the little cinnamon candies, and so you assume it's frosting, and it's not. It's the stone
Crunch.
yeah. But those things, you have to use so much green food coloring to make them green.
Oh, your hands would always turn green.
Your hands turn green, and when you eat them, your teeth and your mouth turn green.
And the counter turns green, and the
And
table turns green.
everything's
and the tablecloth
green.
turns green, and
Yeah. So, but they're so good. I really like them. And but I haven't made them in ages. Yeah. But yeah, the pretzels were always my duty as a small child.
So we get cookies from Kris. Yay.
yes,
Yay.
yeah.
But
Kind of took that over.
I know,
Well,
right?
yeah.
So back to what we were talking about, which is growing up Christmas in Colorado.
Yeah. So back in the day,
Back in the day,
and cueing you back in the day.
I think. So I have like two chunks of memories. One is when we lived in Denver, when I was like kindergarten through second grade, and then living in Golden and Lookout Mountain from fourth grade through high school, through college. So, I'm being distracted. There's something going on over here. Little kid, I would say Christmas at Cinderella City, because it was a shopping mall, indoor shopping mall, but part of it was set up like city streets. And so they could decorate the lamp posts and all of that. So it looked like a charming Christmas.
You're talking about Cinderella.
Yeah.
Downstairs.
Downstairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I would say looking at the storefronts at the big stores in Denver. So like the May DNF and
They did windows.
They did windows. That's what I mean is the windows. Yeah. So I remember going downtown to see those. I remember going downtown to Larimer Square and buying chestnuts on a roasting fire. And seeing the carolers. Eventually I grew up and went to college and became one of the carolers. But it was fun to see Larimer Square decorated, and they still do a charming job of of decorating Larimer Square at Christmas time. I think that's what I remember as a little kid. And then as we got older and we were in the Golden area, we didn't do that stuff so much, and Cinderella City had closed by then. And so it was just more of Villa Italia had a nice Christmas display, and Westminster Mall with the balloons and everything.
Yeah.
So
the era of the shopping mall and
right?
how they did Christmas, I don't think it's a bygones past, like it's like
right.
that doesn't happen anymore.
At least out here. I mean, there's the Mall of America. Yeah. There's parts of the U.S. that still have that. But here, those malls have pretty well gone away. Mm-hmm. We have a couple, I would say. But yeah, that's where we'd go and see Santa. I also remember the ice skating downtown in front of the DNF Tower. Yep. Where they had real ice. Now they have that weird fake ice that's because real. It's, 70 degrees outside and you can't. And yeah, I think that's what I remember. And then once I got to high school, it's the Parade of Lights. I don't remember Parade of Lights before I was in high school. I don't know how long it's been running.
Forever.
Yeah.
It's been a long, at least an 80-year-old tradition.
Okay. So, every year I
threw 80 out as a number. It's older than us.
I started to look it up and then I got distracted because I was looking at the list of all the cool things to do nowadays at Christmas time. And I was like, oh, this might come in handy for tonight. And I remember, so it was always my birthday weekend. And so my birthday always got postponed because I was marching in the parade. And one year it was so cold, I was playing saxophone in marching band because no one can hear the flutes. And so I played sax. And it was so cold that all of my keys froze open. Mm-hmm. And the only thing I could play were the first 3 notes of Jingle Bells. Fortunately, Jingle Bells is sort of a monotonous song. With one monotone song. So that was the only song I could play because that was the only note that I could do. All of my keys were frozen. So some chilly nights there at the Parade of Lights, but it's a pretty parade. I love nighttime parades when it's not 30 below. So yeah, that's my history memories. You, Alyce?
A lot of them are the same. And I think Chuck and I are going to have to probably team up on this one because we grew up in the same house. So we have a lot of the same traditions and same memories. I do like one of the things that we would always do as a family is we'd go look at the lights at Civic Center on the City and County building. Yes. We'd do that. We would have a day or evening of ice skating at the ice rink.
It depends.
We would try and hit that as a definite
We'd either go to one that was over here in North Glen or Westminster.
We would go ice skating.
Or we would actually try and go down to what
Maydien
Kris
F,
said was down to Maydien F, down at Zeckendorf Plaza.
And we would look at the lights or the windows. That was a big thing. I mean, our grandmother passed away when I was 5. And there are a few things that I remember before she passed away that we would do at Christmas. And
one right around this time of year, too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So we would go look at the windows with her. One of the last things I remember is doing a parade of lights with her, and she was in a wheelchair, and then Dawn and I got to ride on her lap, so we didn't have to walk, and we were nice and warm and cozy. I'm not a fan of the parade of lights. I have
neither am I.
Anxiety about it. I don't
like it. I have PTSD.
You're not in warm clothes. You're in a band uniform, and my instrument froze every time, and it was just not fun at all.
Yeah, it's a great. It's a great event for tourists.
And people's, but those who are in it, like the band kids, I empathize with you, band kids. I know, once you're in it, you're fine, and the joy of it, but all of that, you have to stage so early, and so you have to stand around in the cold for.
That's right.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
It's just, and then you freeze, and my instrument froze, and.
Yeah,
my fingers hurt. It's just all of the.
Yeah, you can't wear gloves because we're playing a wind instrument.
I have to cover the holes on my instrument.
It was. I mean, it got to the point where even the snares on the drums were freezing
and snapping,
I mean, we were sitting back in the day when everybody smoked. Everybody had a cigarette lighter, so everybody's taking their big cigarette lighters and coming up underneath the snares on the drums. We would try and do it up and down on the clarinets and on the flutes and on the saxophones, and there was even times when we were trying to do it for the trumpets. You want to talk about an instrument that freezes up fast?
Brass,
trumpets,
a metal thing.
Yeah, the trumpets freeze up hard.
So way back when, the Parade of Lights as a performer was not.
Like I said, I have PTSD.
I don't want to do that.
I have PTSD. I won't go. Well, I went one time again, and that was to see Cat march.
And
you were with me when we went on my birthday once. We didn't intend to go, but we were down at the Brown Palace for my birthday to do a birthday beverage downtown.
This was before Chris. This was before Cat.
Yeah, so we saw the Parade of Lights together.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't intentional.
No, it was not intentional.
Okay, it was not intentional.
It was like, okay, we're done. We can't get to our car because there's a parade. I guess we're going to watch the parade.
Yeah, isn't this cute? Okay, yeah. Well, we're inside, warm, where I can be, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, mention, yes, the parade was always part of kind of our timing, but, when it's like family stuff, one of the things I remember, I don't know if this is a big memory for you, is my mom had a Nat King Cole record, his Christmas record.
Yes.
And she'd always play that, and we'd decorate the tree to that record. So that was like our thing of playing that record. We'd decorate the tree. She'd make homemade donuts, and we'd have hot chocolate. And it was just like this thing, because Dad was working. So it was just the three of us. And that was our thing. And then Dad would come home to a decorated tree. And so that's kind of like a nostalgia thing of, if we want to talk about how our putting up of the decorations went, that was kind of the big thing, is we'd always hear Nat King Cole's Christmas album and putting up the tree, and
we'd always play Christmas music, but it wasn't a specific album.
That album. And then
we didn't have a lot of Christmas music in the house. Well, so it was that album.
It was she had a Perry Como one too. There was that one.
I remember.
But we didn't play that one. It was always the Nat King Cole one.
Right.
That she played. And then, the donuts and the hot chocolate, and that was kind of I don't know if you remember like that.
I do.
For you. But that was my thing.
Because it was always Nat King Cole, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Little Drummer Boy.
His chestnuts roasting on open fire is like.
Yeah, and the Merry Christmas to You.
Yeah. That one is like, okay. That's a good Christmas song. And then we would watch, like, throughout the season, we'd watch White Christmas, Holiday Inn. Like, those are kind of things. And so I've kind of enveloped those in my tradition.
Peanuts Christmas was a must.
Mm-hmm.
Must do.
Yeah.
Rudolph always made me sad.
I know. But then it redeemed itself.
But to this day, my heart bleeds when I think of Rudolph on the little iceberg floating off by himself.
I know.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I'd cry.
Yeah.
I can
cry.
I can make myself cry just thinking about it now.
And also we talk about the Bumble.
Oh, the Bumble.
The Bumble.
He had a toothache. That's why he was angry.
Well, yeah, and you did not like the Bumble at first.
I did not.
Because
he was scary.
Yeah, he was big and scary.
He was
and
angry.
Because
he was in pain.
He was a Yeti.
So we didn't like it.
I had to incorporate it.
So that's like kind of the back in the day, my stuff. We'd have church traditions. We'd always be in the church play, the church pageant. My first role ever was a sheep. My line was, "Mama, there's a baby in the straw." To this day, I'm good on all fours for like hours. But that was my role. Had a sheep costume. So good.
Hey, at least you didn't have real live animals in your church.
Dawn and I were the sheep. Dawn and I were the little lambs. And that was my line. Okay. There's a baby in the straw. Thank you. You're welcome. And scene.
Okay, I guess it's my turn. Yep. And I'm going to... A lot of it's
going to be the same, dude.
A lot of what you just said. The Christmas pageant, I didn't really do that much with the Christmas pageant. Of course, yes, being one of the few boys that would actually show up with almost perfect attendance to Sunday school, I got to be Joseph a lot.
Yep.
Until I actually got into middle school and high school, and I was honored at that time to be the angel Gabriel.
Mm-hmm. I played Angel Gabriel too.
One year I had to carry around a cardboard trumpet. The big long one without without valves on it. It was just to cut out and put gold foil over the top of it. This is your trumpet. Okay. Also, yes, Zeckendorf Plaza, ice skating around. Also seeing the May DNF decorated windows with the little tiny animatronics that were in the windows. Cool. That was also a lot of fun. The one year you were very, very young, and I don't think you remember going to Disneyland over Christmas time.
I do not remember going to Disneyland over Christmas time when we were little. No.
Went to see that and the decorated windows that they do on Main Street.
I don't remember going.
But that's not Colorado.
No.
Let's see, what else did we do? There was
we drive around, look at lights in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that's some of that. There was some of that. We tried to go up to Evergreen to go sledding. Yeah. There was a time way before you came into the scene where we did go to Evergreen and skate on Evergreen Lake. And that was fun for Mom and Dad. That was fun for Mom and Dad.
I remember seeing the pictures and the video, and then Dad used his camera.
Yeah, a little 8mm. That. Yeah, the little 8mm home video thing or home film of it was actual film. Yeah.
And he had a projector.
Oh, yeah. No, we borrowed the projector from Uncle Eddie.
Okay.
Because we never had a projector.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was...
We would watch it on the film editor thing. That's right.
On the editor, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I mean, there's still bags of little reels.
I'm sure they're destroyed now.
Oh, I don't think they're destroyed. I think they're still probably pretty good. And they're probably still pretty viable. I do know that Dad at one time put together a VHS tape, or tried to put together a VHS.
Tried to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm getting farther away from it. But yeah, Nat King Cole playing on the mm-hmm. phonograph. I always liked Nat King Cole better than Perry Como. Perry Como kind of just grated on me, and Bing Crosby.
We had the Bing. Did we have the Bing Crosby?
Yes, we had Bing.
We had the Bing Crosby album. Yes,
yeah,
we did.
We had Bing Crosby.
Between those two, we would listen to both.
Yeah. But yeah, we had at least 3 Christmas albums that we would fool around with, and then once we got older, Dad got into the Statler Brothers and had Christmas albums of that.
Yeah, I mean, we had listened to music a lot, but that was the Christmas tree decorating album.
Yeah. And then when I got into high school, I discovered Dr. Demento. And of course, Dr. Demento had a Christmas show almost all the way through December. And he would come on every Sunday night and on the radio. And I would religiously record Dr. Demento. Yes. But that was a lot of fun. I learned a lot of very inappropriate Christmas songs for that. None of which that I will share here due to copyright issues and probably being getting a copyright friendly ding. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's the reason. But yeah, that's about what I remember.
We would do Christmas Eve with the extended family, Christmas Day with our family.
Yep.
Dad always worked both of those days. So we would always just kind of work around his work schedule. It was not a big deal that he worked. It was just part of the life.
There was a couple of years that he was actually home.
Because it hit on his day off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know.
There were a couple of years where he actually was able to be home. I do remember in 82, though.
He went to work.
Yeah, he did.
Got it to and from.
Yeah.
Oof.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Almost didn't make it.
Didn't. He had to walk from the airport to his parking lot.
Oh my gosh.
And this was old Stapleton, and he walked from the terminal to the parking lot, which was maybe like 3 miles. I mean, it wasn't that far.
It wasn't 3 miles.
In the middle of a blizzard,
but it was insane. He walked it, and then he got in the car. Not a fun day for him.
And we often would have Christmas elsewhere. So I have to say, Mom made our house magical with the tree and other decorations. I did my darndest when we got this house to imitate, but there's no way I could keep up with the magic that she had created at home. But we then would leave most years, some years my dad's parents would come and spend Christmas with us, and so we were in Colorado. But most years we would alternate between one year we'd go to Illinois and be with my mom's family, and then the other year we'd go to New Mexico where my dad's family had retired. My dad's parents had retired. Going to my mom's family in Illinois for me was really special because it was everyone lived close, and so it was all the cousins, aunts and uncles. It was a super big house full at Christmas, and so that was a big treat for me to spend with kids my age. And same kind of thing where Christmas Eve was one of my aunts would host Christmas Eve. It kind of varied between one aunt or the other, and then Christmas Day everyone came to my grandparents' house and we had a huge feast. And now, as I got older and I look at the size of the kitchen, I'm like, I can't believe that my grandmother was able to produce this feast out of this, it wasn't a galley kitchen, but it was a very small kitchen. But when I was little, I thought it was gigantic. Like this was where the kids' table was and where I always had my Christmas dinner. And while the grown-ups were in the dining room with the bigger table. And yeah, so my grandfather was one of 13 children. And so the family was quite large. And the rest of the time we would spend going and visiting all of these relatives who I, to this day, not sure I can name names, but it was like visiting all of these folks in this very small town in Illinois. So it was unusual. So I say all of that to say, so in 82, we were in Illinois and we saw this, the reports of the snow in Denver headlines, and all of my family, we were just like, they always make such a big deal out of the snow in Colorado. And it's not, it's really not a big deal. It'll be there for a day. It'll be gone. So don't worry about it. And sure enough, as we were driving home a few days later, by then, of course, the roads were open. They were still icy, and we get up and as we get closer to Denver, it begins to sink in just how bad this snow was. And then when we got to our house up on Lookout, like my dad's pickup truck was parked in the driveway. The driveway was full of snow and it was just flat. So underneath the snow was the pickup truck. It was like, okay, this is really deep. So we had to go and wade through the snow, get a sled to be able, we couldn't even pull into the driveway. So we had to get a sled to load up the luggage and Christmas presents and drag it in. And it took a while for Dad to plow it out. Fortunately, we had a very old tractor with a plow on it. And that's, so Dad was the only one that was allowed to plow because it was a little dicey. 1940s era.
That blizzard, I think, was the first blizzard I remember being part of. I think there were ones when I was super little, but we were 9. Dawn and I were 9 at that time. So it's the one I kind of that was my first memorable blizzard.
There was a blizzard when I was in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I remember one that
77?
was... Maybe, yeah.
I was 4, so I probably didn't have an idea of what that was about.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. That one, I actually did research before I did this and to talk about things like this. It was averaging about 2 to 2.5 feet in the Denver metro area, and the one in 77. The one in 82 averaged about 3 to 3.5 feet.
Yeah, it was ginormous.
Average.
Yeah, it was.
There were places in the Denver metro area where it was up to 5 feet of snow.
Lot of snow.
Yes, it dumped hard.
It was a lot.
The really sad part is that we get those storms every 30, 40 years, something like that. We're due.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and we're
due for
unrelenting that year.
Yeah.
So it was blizzard after blizzard. Dad said, I think it was 300 and some inches total for the season.
Yeah.
And he
Pretty
said
good.
after the last snowstorm, he goes, if it snows one more time, there is no place
Just
to put the snow.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't melting between blizzards. It kept going.
Yeah.
And that was a very memorable year when it comes to snow.
Anybody in the Midwest is probably like,
Whatever.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
Oh, that's awfully cute for you all down there.
So we're blessed with over 300 days of sunshine a year. So it'll snow, the sun will come out, it melts.
Yeah, we're all good.
We're okay.
Unless you live where you have the north facing driveway.
So it's just, it was such a weird thing. So the snow never went away.
Yeah, that was
it just
very
it didn't go away. And it was, I mean, okay, the real kicker on this, we didn't get any snow days for school.
No, because it happened
during Christmas break.
So we had to go back after 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, it was still dicey getting around because the snow was so
Still
deep.
there, yeah.
And it had compacted to where it wasn't just deep, but it was hard. It would.
I walked on top of it.
My science classes, or the science section of my classes, talked to us about how glaciers form.
Yeah.
And we went outside to see how glaciers formed. And we could see a real-time example of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that, honestly, that was awfully cool.
I mean,
but
good, people can say what they want to about our district. We had great teachers.
We had good teachers.
So,
we had good teachers.
Take the moment.
Yeah.
But
well, if you paid attention now.
There you go.
Okay.
I mean, you're in charge of your own learning opportunities.
Thank you.
But,
yes.
Yeah, but to your point, if you live in Minneapolis, you're probably thinking,
like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. Or up there in North Dakota.
Yeah.
But again.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You guys are having a good time, huh? Yeah.
That kind of snow in December, though, is so unusual. That kind of snow in April.
Right.
Completely normal.
That's right.
March, April. Yeah.
That is how, when we get those big snows. But a December snow like that is so unusual.
That's so true.
That's why it was also a unique occurrence.
Now, the reason I laugh is when Kris was pregnant.
Oh gosh.
Over St. Patrick's Day, or at least that weekend, it snowed hard. We got about 2 feet.
Yeah, at minimum.
Yeah, we got about 2 feet. It was deep. She goes out because I
like the snow.
I love the snow. She's pregnant. Okay. Showing pregnant. And she's out there shoveling away. And
dealing with the tree because the tree branches.
Yeah. And then I didn't figure out what the heck was going on until I got up and realized, what are you doing?
Shoveling.
Yeah.
Cutting down the tree limbs?
Yeah, no. So I took the shovel and the saw away from her, sent her back inside, and finished. Yeah, she got all pouty because I go play in the snow. Yeah. So, there. I saved my reputation in front of the neighbors.
Needless to say, the blizzard of '82 was a memorable Christmas from the past for all of us. All Colorado kids will reference the blizzard of '82 as kind of a keystone in their lives because it was such a big thing for us.
Like I said, we're due for another one. Yeah. We're due for another big storm. Just don't know when, but it's coming. I mean,
we've had one since we've lived in this house, though, because it was the year that Ben and Meg came up. And again, it started like every Thursday on the dot would snow a foot from Thanksgiving through Christmas. Again, it was like, there's no place to put it.
Yeah.
Pre-Katie?
Yeah, it was.
So it would have been 2001, 2002, somewhere.
I think it was in 2000 exactly or something like that.
Yeah.
But I do remember that there was a bad snowstorm trying to get home. And it was bad. It was very bad.
And that was the one where, my dad, bless his heart, was like, yeah, they closed the road, so I just went around the barriers and kept going.
Yeah.
It's like, great.
Isn't that fun?
And that was down in New Mexico. Yeah.
So we've talked about what we did back in the day. And there was one thing I do want to mention. you didn't get to go with us because this was when I was in elementary school. I think in my second grade. We went to go see the Nutcracker down.
Oh yeah, I did not get to go, and I was upset about that.
Yeah, well, you weren't.
I was alive.
You were alive, but you weren't old enough to know what was going on.
So I was still mad.
Oh sure, okay. Anyway, it was my second grade. There we went. It was my first experience with ballet, live ballet. I sat through it. I could tell you what the story was. But honestly, it was at that time, if being that young, I would just probably choose to not do it again, But now I miss it.
Well, it was the tradition in our elementary school. Our elementary school music teacher would take kids to the Nutcracker.
Yes.
And that was usually the second grade, that class. So that was the year that Chuck got to go.
Right.
So that was something that our elementary teacher did.
Yeah, but speaking of Christmas in Colorado, what we would do. And that's one of the things that is
to go to the Nutcracker. You're right.
All right. So current happenings. Do you want to start, Kris?
Sure.
Okay. Start with some current happenings.
Current happenings. Something that I guess we haven't done in a year or two now but we did every year without fail, are the zoo lights.
Zoo lights is good.
They have hot chocolate stations. Mm-hmm. You buy a mug. You can bring back your mug after multiple years, but sometimes you wanted to buy the new one if it was a really cool design. So you'd get refills along the way. They have all of the animal houses open, so you can go in and kind of be as warming stations, if you will. But they do a spectacular light display. I kind of miss it. We haven't done it in a while.
It's hard to get tickets.
It is hard to get tickets.
It's a sellout, a very quick sellout now. So.
And the other one that I've done in both of their locations are the Botanic Gardens lights.
Yes.
Which are really
Blossoms of light. Good.
And the one that's in Denver, their main Botanic Gardens is beautiful. Mm-hmm. The other one is gorgeous in a different way. So that's the one that's out in Littleton?
Chatfield.
And it's so spread out because it's more of a farm acreage situation. And so they've got it all spread out and it's a big walking path. And so it's really cool because of that. What else is going on? That's where I pulled up this and I got distracted and didn't find out how old the Parade of Lights is, because there's now modern times there's a drone show that they do.
I know, that goes
I'm
all
excited
the way.
to go see that.
I want to go see that too.
It's called the Grand Illumination.
We just have to go and park.
Yeah. So
that was cool.
Want to see that? There's the
Kris Kringle, the Christmas market.
Yeah, the Christmas market down. Is it Civic Center Park?
It's Civic Center Park, yeah.
Yeah, so
I did it last year.
Okay.
And the tree that you stand in the middle and it does the light show. That's really cool.
Is that the big like LED tree?
Uh-huh.
Okay, because Kat and I went and saw that for a couple of years when it was still on the 16th Street Mall.
Yes, they moved it to the Kringle Market.
That makes a lot more sense. That's a really neat thing to see because you can go inside the tree and they let you lay down and you can look at the lights.
I have video
inside.
from last year if you want to stick it in here.
Okay. Boom.
So those are the highlights for me. I have seen the Nutcracker. I took Kat when she was, I don't know, in middle school, I think.
In Muggle school.
Muggle school?
I haven't.
She would have preferred Muggle school. I haven't, and that was the only time I've seen Nutcracker live. And I still enjoy going down to Larimer Square this time of year. Golden has a big thing now. It's like something candle. So they have roving choirs along their main street.
Candlelight processional.
They don't call it that, but that's essentially what it is. And now that they've redone their downtown, that would be worth seeing. Yeah, that's what I can think of off the top of my head. But Zoo Lights has been our big tradition, which I've absolutely enjoyed.
Yeah, I agree. Like Zoo Lights was one of the things. The other one, just because I'm going to plug where I work, we did Breakfast with Santa.
Oh, that's right.
Forever.
Oh my God.
I can't believe you forgot that.
That one.
You can tell the story.
It's a great event. I'm going to let you, but we would do Breakfast with Santa. I had an inn.
Yeah.
With the big man.
With the whole thing. Back at it. So we would do that. So that was a fun tradition that we did with Kate when she was little.
Yeah. That's where I'll let you tell that story.
Yeah, I'll let you do that one.
All right. So Breakfast with Santa at the Downtown Aquarium. One year, the year that Charles dove for Kat's birthday, I forget how old she was, 3 or 4. 6?
I think did she turn 6?
Was that the year she had a broken arm, or was that?
Her broken arm was at 3.
Yeah, little kid. So at her birthday, Charles was able to dive and be the diver that came up to the restaurant window with the Happy Birthday Katie sign. And so you got to do that.
Right.
Then we went for Breakfast with Santa.
The following December.
And we were sitting in front of the window, same place and Santa was diving.
Yeah.
And Santa came over just as Charles had excused himself to use the restroom.
Right.
Which was the excuse.
Which is exactly what we had done when he went to go dive.
I got up to go use the restroom.
Which was the excuse that we had used for the first
Where's
one.
Dad?
Yeah.
He had to go potty.
He went to the bathroom.
Yep.
Yeah, he had to go potty.
And so Katie sees Santa diving, and she looks around and sees that Daddy's gone, and she's like, wait a minute, where's Dad?
We're like, oh, no, buddy, it's not this time.
No. This is Santa diving, not
I wish
Daddy.
it had been me.
Yeah, no.
But no.
But it was just so cute that she put 2 and 2 together like that.
So anyway, yeah, there's that. Then, oh boy.
So
okay.
There's a Christmas memory for us.
Some of the other current happenings that we did last year, I did the Kringle Market with my group of friends, and the video will go in there. The other thing I did last year was Camp Christmas.
What's that?
So it was it's this art light installation. It used to be out at some Boy Scout camp. It was outdoors. Then last year they moved it to Stanley Market. It's a performance art piece where it's all these installations of these Christmas scenes. I'll throw some pictures in here as well. And it's beautifully lit.
Wow.
And it's really kind of, you just go in and you look at the lights, the trees, the ornaments, just kind of like
Neat.
Doing the outside stuff inside. It was really
Stanley
neat.
Market would be great for
that.
that.
And so it was in the hangar of Stanley Market.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool. So we did that last year. So there's all these little pop-up things that are happening around town. 4 Mile Living History Museum does a lighted
okay.
thing like Zoo Lights, but it's more of just along their path as well. So there's a lot of options to do some concentrated things to look at lights where you don't have to drive around and do that. And
they have been, COVID started this, but then they've kept it. There are quite a few now of the drive around ones where you can just go and you don't have to leave your car.
Yeah, you can just
and
drive
so
through.
if it's a cold night, that might be preferable, so you're not out in the cold. But yeah, that all started. And then Westminster, and this is funny, when I saw this in the list, there was a certain housing development in Westminster that my friend and I, when we were in college, would always go and look at the lights because this neighborhood just outdid it every year. And now it's like an official thing, and you can, like, I think you have to get tickets just to control traffic. Yeah. It's not a price or anything, but yeah. And so they've just made it a tradition. And I think they probably started it during COVID because it was something you could do while you stayed in your car.
Yeah.
And they've kept it up. And so now there's the map of where it is. And it's around, what's the lake up there? Is it Stanley Lake? Stanley Lake. Yeah, the neighborhood that's around that. And they have some nice, I mean, first of all, they're really nice houses, and then they decorate them very well. So, yeah.
So those are kind of the current things. Chuck, you can go and add your 2 cents.
Okay. Give me a second here. I'm appeasing the manager. Let's see here. I need to get to my notes.
Okay.
So,
as you're getting your notes, I will say that my time this time of year is very limited just because of my work. Mm-hmm. So I kind of tuck things in where I can, but
yeah,
there you go.
Okay. So, I took a whole lot of notes about it. This is a list of 10 things to do in Colorado.
Okay.
And this is according to the tripstodiscover.com. So I'm just doing a quick plug because I took a lot of their information. Georgetown is a neat place to go for Christmassy things in the Rockies, a place where visitors experience Christmas cheer all year round at multiple shops because they have a lot of Christmas ornament shops in Georgetown.
Well, and it's such a charming Victorian main street that it would lend itself to a Christmas.
Let's see. Shop International is where you can buy a bunch of European Christmas stuff and everything like that. Isn't that fun?
Woo.
Yeah. Let's see, because they listed it.
No, it really is charming, but
there's a whole lot of things to do in Georgetown.
Enthusiasm here.
One of the things that we wanted to do or talked about doing, and it was during the Georgetown video of taking the Georgetown Loop over Christmas time because they light up things along the Georgetown Loop. Let's see. Another place to go is to Breckenridge. Breckenridge, they do ice sculptures.
Oh,
I want to do this.
I want to go to there.
Okay, they do a lot of ice sculptures. There's also the Race of the Santas.
Santa skis. I know in Vail they do the ski run.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, but it's an event in which hundreds of supersized red-clad elves take to the streets, all just as ski season gets into high gear. Throughout the season, you can enjoy carriage rides through the town, loads of shopping naturally. Of course, again, it's a mountain town, so you're going to have a lot of that, and a lot of Victorian architecture is still up there. Yeah, so Victorian and Edwardian architecture, because it was 1800s, y'all.
Right.
Let's see. Another place to go is Durango. Durango's got, let's see.
Got the Polar Express train?
I don't know.
I thought that was closer to Denver. It could be, though.
I don't know. Let's see. Yes. Durango features the Polar Express train ride. And, of course, they do a lot of lights and everything in Durango, and it's just a lot of fun there. Just north of the town is the Purgatory Resort, and it's offering outstanding skiing and hosts other winter activities. Let's see. Number 4 is Telluride. And I don't know if I really need to talk all that much about Telluride other than the fact, again, Victorian architecture, again, old-timey feel, that
traditional stuff,
almost European feel to a Christmas. If you're really into the whole Dickensian thing, where to go? Lots of skiing again, so there's a lot of winter sports. I think you're hearing the theme here. A lot of winter sports. Yeah.
Well, it's most of the things that people come here for is that during break is to go skiing over Christmas. So.
Yeah. See, Aspen again. You know, because the Aspen Village, the ski village there, just tons of stuff to do there.
Is Aspen where the Santas ski down, or is it Vail?
Don't know.
Or is it Aspen that does the Santas and Vail does the torch ski on Christmas
I know that
Eve?
Vail does the torch skis.
That's the one. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Let's see. What else have we got? Cripple Creek, again, more of the same type of architecture, more the same type of feel, except for this one's more focused on mining.
It's good.
You know,
I mean, that's what the town was settled for.
Yeah, they do what they experience as the Gold Camp Christmas holiday headframe lighting and winter wonderland and everything, and that's
that would be
all
pretty.
kind of cool and fun there. Appearances from Santa from time to time, and also in their Christmas parade. Let's see, Ure, or Ure, however you want to pronounce it, has another place in the San Juans, is basically the Switzerland of America. And with the hat. With the hat. Yeah. Let's see. It also hosts the world's first ice climbing park.
Okay.
Eep.
Yeah, y'all have fun with your crampons and ice
No,
axes.
thank you.
know.
Mm-mm.
Let's see. Steamboat Springs is another place to go
That would be
for
a cool
Christmas.
place to be at Christmas.
Yeah, and of course, naturally, they got the hot springs.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so the steamy, sulfury.
I've done Pagosa for New Year's, and that's pretty amazing.
Oh, that
I
would
bet.
be. Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't list Pagosa here.
Him too.
Leadville,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
the highest incorporated town in the country at 10,000 feet.
We need to do our field trip there.
We got to go to
We've
Leadville.
said this
We
a
do.
couple of times. We need to do it.
Well,
and
it's just
mine, and yeah.
Oh,
Independence Path.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's high up
And-
there, friends.
well, it is, but also
And we could do all the ghost towns at
yes,
Independence. Yeah.
that's right. We can do the ghost towns. We can go up there to St. Elmo's
Mm-hmm.
and see that.
And the turquoise lake.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's not Christmas, but that's
No,
what we're
but there
talking
you
about doing.
I was gonna say, we're not going anywhere
Now.
near that
No,
Independence
no.
Pass this time of year.
And number 10, hitting the top of the list for Christmas in Colorado, Estes Park.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
For your mountain towns,
that's
right?
exactly where to go.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
And see, closer to home here, let's see, you can watch your
The
Nutcracker Ballet
Mhm.
at the Ellie Cocker Opera House.
yes.
And any other
Hawkins Opera House. sorry.
any other dance company this time of year, if you want to get a not so expensive version of the Nutcracker,
Yeah,
you can
it's
hit
true.
any of those. There's a lot of them.
Now, you are no longer able to do ice skating at Zeckendorf Plaza
'cause it
because
doesn't-
Zeckendorf Plaza is
No longer
Gone.
exists.
yeah.
but
But
in its place, you can ride the carousel of the Denver Pavilions.
Mhm.
The Denver Pavilions is where essentially all of that
Used
we
to be.
talked about with May DNF and Zeckendorf Plaza, all that occurred.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have the fake ice rink at like
Yeah.
Arapahoe and 16.
That's the
Yeah.
Skyline Park.
okay.
And
The
yeah,
fake ice park.
yeah.
I know.
Anyway, we
It's
talked
the-
about
yeah.
zoo lights.
Yeah.
did.
And let's see, like I said, Skyline Park
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
there.
right there.
Okay. I don't remember what the cross streets are of Skyline Park, but
I think it's Arapahoe and 16th.
I think you might
You're-
be right.
Yeah.
I think you might be right. Blossoms of Light, we talked
Yeah.
about.
That's really nice.
And also number 6 is Downtown Denver Grand Illumination.
Yes.
And it is illuminated downtown all the way from Union Station up to Civic Center.
This is new this year. This is a new addition to
It's-
the traditions.
From what I read, this is not just this year. This is also last year.
I don't
Oh.
remember it last year.
I don't know. This is,
Okay.
I'm going by what my research
Cool.
said. So I don't know.
I live close to there, so I didn't see anything.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like,
Maybe they just did it for like one weekend and it was so popular. Now they do it
yeah, it's
for the
true.
whole season.
I really, really want to see it though.
But yeah, they got Keller's down there. They got a bunch of stuff that you can walk around and just try to
Oh,
get
that
into
looks,
the
that's cool.
Christmas
Mm,
spirit.
Check that out.
But yeah, and
Of course,
the Civic
lights,
Center
so-
lights.
yeah.
I mean, I am always going to push Civic Center lights. And when we do our talk on the stock show, that's where they become important.
That's where they
Yeah,
become important.
Very
Absolutely.
important.
And another Denver tradition that becomes important in Colorado: if you decorate your house, you keep it up through stock show. You
That's
don't
right.
take your outside lights down until after stock show, because then
So
all
in
the
other words-
people can come in and enjoy
Mhm.
You don't take your lights down until February.
it. February.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because that's
Until
Tradition.
February.
and that is a Denver tradition.
Absolutely
That
is.
is definitely
Mhm.
us.
Let's see. 4 Mile Historic Park,
That's-
which you mentioned,
Yeah.
has their things going on, which is a brunch buffet. that they talk about here.
Okay.
Yeah, you can take a ride on a wonderful holiday wagon and it's pulled by a tractor. But okay.
Well, they only have 2 horses.
Yeah, and that's cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Tractor's better than a semi. when Kat and I were in Roanoke, they were doing the hay rides, but it was
semi-truck.
Yes, and it would intentionally do that and scare the crap out of everybody all the time. And that happened while we were like standing in the dark. It was right before we were videoing, or right after we were videoing the whole like pitch black thing, and all of a sudden. I was like, okay.
Well, go with what you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Oh, let's see. You can catch a performance, any of the performances at the Betcher Concert Hall.
Yeah.
Christmas
carols there every year.
Well, okay, we're talking about the concert hall, not.
Well,
no,
yeah.
true.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's all there.
Yeah.
I kind of lump it all together.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But with the
Sure,
Colorado Symphony.
Symphony, yeah.
Christmas in Colorado with the Children's Chorale,
Yep.
which we had to go to many years.
It's a show
It's a show full of children
that you can see.
singing in very high voices.
Yep.
Hey, that's where I saw the clarinet choir orchestra
Oh, cool.
one year out in the lobby. That was awesome.
Well,
Okay.
All
and
the clarinets.
Kat was in Children's Chorale for a few years, and so it was
That was cool.
It was cool. It
Yep.
was fun to see her. In that.
Number 9
Blech.
of things to do in Denver, as we already talked about, the Parade of Lights, which is still going strong.
It is.
Y'all can go.
Sponsored by Night. It's a parade
Y'all can go. I won't.
that you
I'm
can go
stay home.
see.
I
Yeah.
enjoy the parade
Yeah.
much better as a spectator than a
Yeah.
participant.
Then meanwhile, Alice and I.
We're gonna stay home and get in our comfy cozies
Yeah,
and
they-
watch movies.
Hey, we can watch Trading Places.
Yes, we can. We'll do our thing.
Looking good, Billy Ray.
Feeling good.
Okay, moving on.
Anyway, yeah. And that's it. That was 9.
So you were asking about the Polar Express. That's in Golden at the Railroad Museum.
Okay, cool.
So it isn't that far away.
Not too far away.
Okay.
I knew they would do one in Durango, though.
Yeah,
I'm not
because
surprised.
Durango
Yeah.
listed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
there is
There's
one
probably several options to do the
closer
Polar
to Denver.
Express.
Oh,
yep.
yeah.
And it is the Polar Express TM train ride.
Oh, so
yes.
it's
the
the Polar Express. Oh, so yeah.
So if you think about it, there's a lot to do this season, and it starts usually early in November too. So you get a whole bunch of weeks to participate.
Exactly.
Christmas in Color is the thing I was talking about where you can drive through.
Oh,
And it's at Waterworld in Denver, Red Rocks, and the Arapahoe County Fairgrounds.
Oh, cool.
They do lights where you go through with your car.
Okay.
Neat.
So yeah, I think that hit
The things to do.
almost everything
yeah.
there is to do.
I mean, there is so much to do.
well, and
It's if you're bored at Christmas in Colorado, you're
not doing it right.
you're just doing that on purpose because there's so much to do. And not all of it has a fee.
No.
I mean, there's all kinds of things to do for free.
The drone show is free.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, and this now brings us to what are we doing this year? Not much beyond what we've already talked about, what our family does. I know that Chris's dad will be showing up here on Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to be going out to do much of anything with extended family on Christmas Eve.
No, Dad and I might go to church.
Yeah, which they go down to St. John's, the Episcopal Church downtown.
Mhm.
My church has a Christmas Eve service that Mom and Dad and I are going to. Totally welcome.
Yeah.
So it's a candlelight, and then we go have Chinese food. We kind of started that a few years ago. It was kind of awesome. So we kind of do
There you
that.
go. Okay.
So that was fun. I have to work.
Unfortunately, yes.
I have to work all the whole week. So
And then ever since Kat was little, we've been hosting Christmas. So
Here, yeah.
we will continue that tradition. And we may have a couple of new faces with us.
Cool.
Hopefully Kat's friend Mel can join us, Melanie. And then there was somebody at work who will be alone at Christmas. And I said, if you want to join someone for Christmas dinner, here's my phone number. So
Okay.
all are welcome. We just
Mhm.
open the doors. There's lots of food.
Yep.
Yep.
Over the
You'll
years,
get a present because if you're coming, you're going to get a present.
Yeah.
yeah, we've
We'll work that
had family friends come over for Christmas.
Yeah.
We've had extended family come over for Christmas. We've had work friends show up. We've had with Kris and I being in the SCA, we've had SCA friends come over and enjoy it with us. So we've had a lot of folks come over.
And that's Chuck and I's also tradition, is that's how we were raised. Our grandparents would open the doors and whoever wanted to come was welcome.
Mm-hmm.
There was a place for you, there was food for you, and there was a present for you. Always. And so, because we would open presents and nobody wanted to be left out. So there was always that space. So just kind of being another excuse to get together and hang out and eat.
Absolutely.
That's what we do.
So that's us. That's what we do here in Colorado for Christmas. I hazard to guess that it's probably not that much different from wherever you are.
Probably not.
It's
other than some of the Mountain Town things, which are very unique.
Indeed. But we do have a special announcement, or at least I have a special announcement about what's going to be coming.
Okay.
For this year, the Todd-Cast is going to be on its own dedicated YouTube channel called The Todd-Cast. Ta-da!
Yay!
Also, we are going to be branching out. We're going to be going over, and not only on YouTube, but we're going to be on Spotify as well. So look for us there after the new year. We'll be on Spotify and on YouTube, so you can get podcasts in 2 different places.
Yay!
So
more content. We're going to be out and about.
Yes.
Doing our thing. So there it is, folks, and thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Happy New Year.